I just got hit with an image of an upcoming speaking engagement that I was having some fear and intimidation around. I was gonna keep it real breezy, real academic, real intellectual. But the moment you described real power beyond the eloquence, right? It hit me.
Hmm.
I don't fear these people.
Hmm.
And I don't want to rely on my eloquence or articulation to impress them.
My.
What?
But see, watch this, Jamar. Watch this. So this is why it feels like the work that you do, the work that we do, but specifically, I want to speak to you as a historian. This is why it feels like the work that you do as a historian, the work that you do as a voice for justice, it feels like you're working so hard to get so minimal effort. So watch what happens. You go and you reveal things. So you go and you reveal, you turn the lights on and the racists scurry, right? So you turn the lights on. So now when the lights get turned on, where do they go to get freed? They go to their local church who says nothing about it.
Mm,
Are y'all hearing me? They go to the local church and they don't get delivered from it because we want to stay away from talking about this because this is damaging. This is an issue. Who's going to stop coming to the church? Who's going to stop giving? Oh no, no, no. This we need to tone this down. So they tame what should be a moment where they say, "Oh no, no, no. You heard about this? Okay. This is not just merely intellectual. It's spiritual as well. And here's what I
yes,
want to do. We want to disciple you into what it looks like to reject that way and embrace the way of Jesus." And
bro.
so you got people like you giving your lives to this, and the people who should be using it as a jumping off point to disciple people into full deliverance, which is not just related to a spiritual or a demonic idea, but it's the deliverance of our minds. It's the renewing of our minds, as the scripture tells us. That should be having the renewal of minds, instead are attacking you and keeping people bound. So see, this is why the work is so heavy. This is why the work is so hard, because what it should be is a church should be coming alongside you and saying, what we will do is we will facilitate discipleship on the back end of your exposure so
Mm,
that we can walk with people through what it means to be a faithful follower of Jesus that flourishes and actually addresses what is the deep thoughts and roots and ideas that you just showed us we have. But instead, they want to attack you.
good Lord.
And so what happens? People remain bound. And when people remain bound, they're susceptible to deception. And when they're susceptible to deception, white supremacy reigns strong. Are you seeing a spiritual connotation here? Like, we're not just
Yeah,
talking about this from the
yeah.
context of, like, I don't talk about this because it was like a hobby horse I want to hop on and talk about all this stuff. I don't care about none of that. I would much rather like to not talk about this. This is one work. And then when we're in church, we want to disciple people through what it looks like to reframe their position and place in the kingdom. That's power. And we don't have power. Like, we want one or the other, and we think they're separate. They're both and.
Ooh, I'm just sitting with so much right now. Number one, prophetic truth tellers who are in that, lane vocationally like I am need pastors with power to disciple people, to help them move out of the shock of exposure and
Yeah.
revealing
Yeah.
and into healing. That's one level. The other level I'm processing is, can we capture this at Joy and Justice?
Okay, so Joy and Justice Conference coming out. Look, I need y'all to we're gonna put the link in the bio.
Bro,
Put the link in the show
I'm not
notes.
even like just promo. I'm just like,
Not for sure.
this is the experience
Yeah.
that people need, whether they even know they need it or not.
Yeah.
If you can sort of like capture this at this 2 day conference, I
Not for
think
sure,
people would
bro.
get delivered.
Yeah, and you're bringing up a tremendous point. Like, I think this is the heart of why we do the witness, the work at the witness. And why we do the work at the witness is, yes, we want to make sure that we speak to the core concerns of Black Christians. Yes, we want to make sure that Black Christians are able to be free holistically, soul and body. But we also want there to be transformation. And I think for many of us, we've outsourced transformation. Like, and I think we've taken transformation and we've said transformation is found in lights and cameras and lasers and haze and all that stuff. Or we feel like transformation is found in, some supernatural feeling or transformative program or whatever it may be in our public square. I'll tell y'all, like, I think it is simply word and power. That's where it comes from. It is
Mm,
word, power, and witness. And I think people need to see it. What captures people about every time they come to join justice, every time we have an event, what captures people, what grabs them is that, oh, I didn't know this was possible. Like, oh, I didn't know it was possible to like have faith expression and to have even a moment where people share a prophetic word, or a moment where they hug and pray with one another, or a moment where they learn something they didn't know, or a moment where they're calling out the systems and forces of racism and supremacy in our world. And at the same time, experience deep healing and joy and communal oneness and togetherness and unity, and talk about justice and talk about all the above. And people don't think that joy and justice can work together. That's why we set up this conference years ago. And so I personally think, bro, like, I personally think that that's the future of the church. It's both and. It's not one or the other. It's not just intellectualism, and it's not just emotional expression or embodied expression, good as it may be. I think it's both and. And I think it's word, spirit, and witness. And that's what produces the power. So yeah, come through to join justice, and we might make some shake. You know,